Hello and welcome to the garden for our week 2 full garden tour. There was not a garden tour last week, and that's because nothing had changed from week 1. But now we are in week 2 and things have changed. All my tomatoes are in the ground, which is very exciting. And I have quite a few other things planted as well. So it's a little bit windy out here today, but we're gonna take a look through this garden and talk about what's new. So right here by the gate, this is a little calabroca and it is really getting tall. The lavender bush is starting to put on some new growth, which is great. I did trim it a little bit. And then I also put in some dill that I had started in the greenhouse, so it is in the ground. And then over here, my sunflowers are starting to get some height on them, and these are all dwarf sunflowers that go down this row right here. So they're looking pretty good. I have noticed a few little buggy holes in, like this one, a little bit buggy, but they're looking pretty good. So I'm happy with them so far. This right here is where the peppers are going. Those will not come out for another week or week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. So that's why this is still looking like this. The strawberry patch, the in-ground strawberry patch is looking great. Tons of berries. I mean, just this is covered in berries. I actually picked my first berry off of the plants over in the raised beds today. So I should be in berries pretty soon from this as well. And then in the tower planter, everything is growing. This is full of, these are celosia. There's some marigolds down here, and then some petunias and some nasturtiums, and some more calabroca in here. Everything looks really good and really happy. This nasturtium is getting very big, putting on new leaves all the time, which is awesome. We'll go down in here first. So in my cattle panel arch trellis area, I have 2 types of pole beans, rattlesnake pole beans and purple potted pole beans. And these are all growing really well. There is some bug damage on them, but I am not like super concerned about it because it's not too bad and they are still able to grow, and they should be grabbing onto the trellis here pretty soon. Now, this is some mammoth melting snow peas, and they're just like this. They haven't really gotten a ton bigger. So I may end up pulling these out sooner rather than later, maybe. And then in this tub that's still just sitting in here, I did pull out the lettuce and spinach that was in here because it did start to bolt. Replaced it with some marigolds, some celosia, and then we have our Mexican red torch sunflower right there. And then on this side, I've actually replanted these Chinese snake cucumbers again. I just replanted them a couple days ago, so they haven't come up yet, but that's okay. We do have 1 straight 8 cucumber, and then 1 burpless cucumber that has a true leaf now, and then 1 muncher cucumber in here. So hopefully these all make it and I will have some cucumbers this year. Now these are my first sugar magnolia tendril pea flowers from this, like two of these plants are really nice and tall. One of them is a little bit behind, and then 2 of them didn't make it at all, but these are my first flowers. Very exciting. I did plant some sunflower seeds back here, and I haven't really quite seen any of those come up yet, but I'm holding out hope on those. Okay, now let's go into this middle section. This is a mess, but it's fine. This is the, what is this called? Oh, I can't even read it. This is called an early girl bush tomato. This is a determinate tomato, and it does have some flowers on it, so that's exciting. This is one that I bought, and it has been in the ground for a few weeks now. This over here is my tennis ball lettuce, and it is starting to really look good. These are about ready to be harvested as heads. So I will basically take this whole head and just pull it up and then cut the roots off and have like a little tiny head of lettuce. And now like this, all of this around here is actually little gem lettuce, which is supposed to be like little baby heads of romaine lettuce, but I did not separate them when I planted them, so I may just end up eating them as like leaf lettuce, which is fine. And then back here, look at all this kale. It all looks really good. I have a combination of Nero Toscana and blue curled scotch back here, and I actually cut some leaves off of these today for the first time, which is very exciting. This is the first time I've ever gotten kale to be this big, which is a very big moment for me. I'm super stoked. So let's look at some tomatoes. All my tomatoes are in the ground, which is exciting. This is the sun sugar plant. This is the plant that I bought. This is just like a yellow cherry tomato. This one is black cherry. This one is the blonde girl cherry, which is another yellow tomato. And then we have the Isis candy cherry, which this is a nice big healthy plant. And then we have our carbon, firebird, Chianti rose, Kellogg's breakfast, Aunt Ruby's German green, white Tomasol, delicious, Amana orange, pink brandywine, Paul Robeson, and San Marzano. So that is everything in the main garden. So we're gonna walk over to the raised beds and I will show you what's going on in those, because I am steadily picking lettuce every single day, which is awesome. So here in this tub, I have my variegated basil, some marigolds, some chives, another Mexican red torch sunflower, and some more celosia. And then over here in this pot, there's a couple petunias and a couple more celosias. And then this is my lettuce, my salad bowl bed. This is some spinach. It's actually starting to bolt a little bit. So this is nearing the end of its life, but that's okay. This is my mesclun mix. And I came out and chopped a whole bunch of this off today for lunch. So that's why it looks a little flat. But this is delicious. And then my arugula is really starting to come into it. I mean, I started harvesting off of it today. And this stuff is so, so good. And then this bed has some onions and also some radishes. And also a little maple tree in it. So that's exciting. The radishes are looking happy, getting big. And then our strawberry bed over here, there's actually another berry turning in here, so that should be red in a couple days. And then this is just a pot full of some thyme. It's starting to put some height. And then down here we have our rosemary. This is the barbecue rosemary, and then this is one that I started from seed. I'm very proud of that. And then this is just a pot of cilantro that I actually need to harvest from. So that's the tour. Short and sweet this week. I don't have just a ton to show you. Things are growing. The gardening season is in full swing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get my peppers in a couple weeks. They're starting to look really happy and really big and lush in the greenhouse. I do have some more stuff to plant, like herbs. I don't have any basils in the ground yet, but you know, we're getting there. It is supposed to be super warm the rest of this week, so we'll see what happens with my things like lettuce and my spinach. I think my spinach will probably be bolted by the end of this week, and that'll be pulled out. So we'll see what happens. That's gonna about do it for me today for this week 2 full garden tour. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.